What's up, guys? Here today again, working on an upgrade for the LX450. So a lot of people will either keep these things pretty much completely stock, or they'll go ahead and, build it out for overlanding and all that kind of stuff. I've been kind of on the fence. I want to try to stay like somewhere in between. Of course I did the tires, the BF Goodrich KO2s. I'm learning now, I got 31s, and when this thing's stock, you can actually put 33s on it. Kind of wish I would have done that, but that's okay. You live and you learn, so I'll know for in the future. I've got a 2.5 OME lift kit that is here in the garage that I'm going to get to. This is one of my big upgrades that I'm really excited about. I think it's going to completely change the dynamic of how the truck looks, make it look a little bit more tough, even though it looks pretty good now. And one of the other things that I'm doing actually today, the lift kit will be for the future whenever I've got 2 days to dedicate to trying to pull out 25-year-old bolts and run into problems and have to make multiple trips up to the auto parts store. Today I'm working on replacing this bad boy. I think it looks relatively good for a stock option, but it's not very dynamic. You got 2 crossbars, so not a whole lot to work with there. And I wanted to get a Prinsu roof rack because it's kind of slimline. It doesn't take a whole lot of space. It's not a basket style, so I can easily add a rooftop tent whenever that time comes. So I've got it over here. I'm working on it today. I'll spare you guys all the details of me working on it, but I'll of course get a little footage at the end of how it looks, and I'd like to know what you guys think. But the good thing about this is it's flat, pretty slimline, so I can put a tent on it, mount it real easily. But I'm kind of in between here. I'm gonna try to see first if it'll fit without having to take this stock rack off, because whenever you undrill these screws, you're left with 4 holes. Well, 2 here, 2 at the back, same on the other side, so 8 holes total. And there's a kit by Absolute Wits End that you can get, but he doesn't make it anymore. So I've got the hardware off of another website coming in the mail. So I'll try to put it on over top of this first, see how it looks. If it's like super obvious that you can see it, then I'll just take it off, put some really strong duct tape or some kind of sealant tape over it until I get the hardware to put in there. So let's get to it. All right, back at not quite square one, but I had to go back to square one. This Prinsu roof rack, my wife and I, we got it all the way up on the vehicle and realized these wings on both sides I had backwards. Now, in my defense, the instructions on this Prinsu roof rack are terrible, and they're not up to date, and it doesn't have any good pictures that show which way it goes. So because of that, I had to take out every single bolt on all these beams and on these brackets that mount it to the vehicle. So I had to do twice the amount of work it takes to put this thing on. I'm working on getting the last 2 brackets, this one flipped around, and getting this one bolted in, and then I'll try to get it on. And there she is, boys and girls. Definitely gives it a little bit more of a outbacky, overlandy kind of look to it. Here's the side view. I think it's really clean. I like it. There's a couple problems I do have with this. This product is just these mounting brackets. One, I'll have to weld and fix. I'll show you in a second what happened to this one. And then these bolts, I'll have to file down with some kind of file. You can see it just barely makes it with the door, which is great, but it still catches the rubber. So I can imagine over time of that right there, it's probably either gonna pull it off or wear it out. But what I did to the bracket was over tightened it. Like simply just by putting this bolt, screwing it in here, which is supposed to be attached to this piece, like hand tightening it, and it broke off of there. So that would be my only drawback to this so far, is just the welding right here on these little joints. That right there could be a little bit better. They could have welded all the way, in my opinion. But I know somebody who can weld, so that's good. I'll get that fixed and we'll see how it goes. It says after 100 miles to check all our connections, so we'll do that. Make sure it's good to go. Let me know what you think, guys. Peace. I also wanted to go ahead and update you guys. If you follow me on Instagram or possibly TikTok, I can't remember if I uploaded on there, but on Instagram, you can see that I was working on this platform that Christian Dirt Cruiser on Instagram had made. He's got a video on YouTube, but I also DM'd him, got a lot of useful help just through DMs about exact measurements and everything that he did, but built this little platform. I don't have it mounted in, you know, I don't have it anchored down, which he does. You just take this seatbelt out, he anchors it from here to the actual platform, but it fits so tightly that it doesn't move. It's all the way up against the tailgate whenever it's up, and on the back of the second row. So built this, it works perfect. Got a bigger section here and then a smaller one here. I'll fold it down here in a second, add a little clip of what it'll look like, because it'll actually work perfectly for a platform bed. There's a website called Solve Function that makes these little blocks that sit down underneath the second row seats. I'll show you right now. And this makes it where these seats are level with the platform. So you just fold this down. It's hard to do with one hand. Okay, so you can see it's level now. Let's lay the other one down real quick. I'm not gonna put the block under this one. You'll get the idea. Fold this bad boy down. There you go. And that's not going anywhere. It's not perfectly level. At least it doesn't look like it is, because this carpet's not super tight on here. There is a little bit of a dip here, but I laid down on it the other day. And I'm gonna put a couple pads underneath us whenever we sleep on this bad boy. You won't even feel it. It's gonna be comfortable. So this will help us to where we don't have to pitch a tent outside. One day we'll get a rooftop tent, but those things are like, they start at like $2,000, go up to like 8 or 10 grand, you know, if you want to get like a Camp Tech, which would be awesome. You have to cut the roof out, but that'd be awesome. But for now, this platform works great. I've got a jerry can storage space here. Christian Dirt Cruiser. Also, he builds wings here. I wanted to hold off on that for the time being, just because I kind of like having the ability to just throw stuff down here and it fit fine like this jerry can. So that's how it looks. All right, so as you can tell, there's plenty of space here for my wife and I. Maybe if I built the wings one day, we could put Austin, our 2-year-old daughter, in here. But for the time being, this will work perfect. We're gonna use this at Clash Bash, or Lethal Weapons Texas. Same people that put on Clash Bash, a shooting competition, here in a couple weeks. So I'll have a video out for that and everything too, see how it actually works. Last year we went in October. I thought it was gonna be good weather, but it's Texas, so it's kind of unpredictable. It was a little bit hot. We took the 4Runner, left the windows open, and it was still hot. So I think this year, I'll probably leave the lift gate up and tailgate out. I have a mosquito net I'll put around so bugs can't get in, and then put a fan up, and we'll see how it works. Anyways, that's the platform. That's the roof rack. if you like this content and you want to see more, see their growth, progression of the vehicle, just go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. See you guys.